And we're live. Hey,
Hey,
Jess.
girl.
What's going on?
I'm in New York,
Welcome
and it's
back. Welcome
hot.
home.
Yeah, it's. Thank you. I'm happy to be home. It's a little hot. It's a little muggy, but
Welcome back. Well,
you
cue
know,
the May song.
but I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I can. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
So,
I'm
so
sitting in
what you
front
doing
of
back on the
everybody.
East Coast? What you doing back on the East Coast? What's going
I'm going
on?
on vacation.
Oh.
I'm going on a cruise. I'm
Mm.
going to get some sun. I'm going to sit by the beach. I'm
Maybe a
going to
little dang a
talk to.
lang. Oh,
I'm going to talk to the men's.
oh. I said maybe a little dang a lang. Dang a lang, dang a lang. Dang a lang, dang a lang.
You get on my nerves.
Dang a lang, dang a lang.
Yeah, you get on my nerves. I'm open to wherever life takes me. That's what I'm gonna say to that.
Remember the conversation we had on the train the other day, and he was like, "I'm ready," and I was.
I did say that. I said
You
that.
kind of like, and I was being a jerk, and I was like, "Cause you want some ding-a-lang, you want some intentional ding-a-lang. You don't want this no."
That's interesting. I don't
Remember
remember, but
somebody
it
on the
sounds
train,
like.
and I was being annoying.
Oh, we been having a private conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was like, "You
Oh,
want
that's
some
what you talk.
ding-a-lang?"
Oh, you talking about a private conversation? Oh, I didn't. I thought you were saying I said
I
this
just
on the
remember
line.
on the train the other day, and you was like,
I
"I'm ready," and
did.
I was
I did
like,
say that. I said it's about time. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
I
I've
was
been.
like, "So you want some ding-a-lang?"
But when you said it, I thought you was talking about. I said that on the show. I
Mm-mm.
was like, I didn't remember saying that on the show. But you talking about what I said in our private conversation.
Yeah,
That's
on
what
the
we
train,
doing?
I was being a jerk, and
That's
I was
what
like,
that's what we doing today?
I was just saying, cause you was like, "You going to trip? You like, talking to the men's." And I remember about the personal conversation. He's like, "You ready to get back out there?" I thought, "You want some dick? You want some intentional dick?" You said, "You gonna say it like that?" I was like, "Well, that's what it is." I mean,
Listen, I am open. I'm ready to get back to dating, even though men frighten me. They make me very anxious. And the reason is because it gets back to the standards. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
because
So
we're
I'm
not
gonna break this down when we talk. When we go through this, I'm gonna
right.
break this down because I don't
But
want to
you
talk
don't
too
just
much
want any
about
old kind of man. You want
no.
intentional. You want so like even in the organ connected to the man, huh? You want it to be all aligned. It has to be
Yes,
aligned,
the organ needs to be disciplined.
disciplined, and full.
Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Bust, huh?
But yo, okay, I want y'all to know why. So here's the reason why I'm stumbling across my words. I'm not home.
She at her mama house.
I'm at my mama house. I just want y'all to know that. So I'm trying to choose my words wisely because I can hear her, but like it's in my ear. Like she's directly in my ear. So I'm trying to choose my words on my end very wisely. So I'm not approved, nor
Clearly,
am I shy.
conversations.
But it's just I'm trying to be respectful of the space that I'm in.
Mm. Okay,
So
I'm
if
gonna
you
be
see me trying to like mince my words, it's cool. You already put it out there. You already didn't put it out there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm ready. I got my hair done. I went got my nails done.
yeah, I like
I'm
those.
ready. I'm
Show them
ready.
to the
I'm
people.
ready.
Give them a full on. Ooh, don't look at
You know what I'm
mine.
saying? I got my little, you know what I'm saying? I did matte for the first time. You know what I'm saying? I got my little wavy, curly situation with my braids. I got my big hoops. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I got my yitty, push up, plunge.
I
I'm
gotta get
taking her with me. And I got another one in the bag. I got
and you
two.
got a new bag too. We gotta get that bag to you. That's if we don't do
Oh
nothing else.
yes.
I gotta get that bag to you.
That was supposed to be on my trip. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that to you. We don't do nothing but get that bag to you tonight.
Yes, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me about my bag and my shoes.
That's
But
why
yeah,
partnership is important because you see,
that right there, the partnership, the standard. That's what it is, right there. Yep. See, I forgot and you remembered. All right. So hey y'all,
hey,
listen. Welcome to the Hill Podcast. So welcome to the Hill Podcast. Join two real life friends and professional women on a journey of self discovery, growth, and healing. Together, we explore what it means to unpack life's challenges, embrace self awareness, grow in our spiritual practices, and navigate healing one honest conversation at a time. This is not a space for giving advice, but rather a place to share tools, tips, and reflections that have inspired us along the way. Whether you're a I'm gonna do that over. And I'm gonna tell you why. You could just cut this out. But look,
Okay. Okay.
it's something that happened outside. It just made me laugh.
Okay.
Okay. That's the one thing about Brooklyn. You don't know what you're gonna hear. You don't know what you're gonna hear with the window open. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on with these people in their lives. But anyway, excuse me.
Focus. Focus.
Okay, focus.
Wait, is your name spelled right? It's one R, right? Or two R's?
No, that's right.
Okay, sorry.
Also, I realized I like recording in a closed studio. I don't like all the elements and all the extras because the people outside are really cracking me up right now. But anyway, okay. So, welcome to the Hill podcast. Join two real life friends and professional women on a journey of self discovery, growth, and healing. Together, we explore what it means to unpack life's challenges, embrace self awareness, grow in our spiritual practices, and navigate healing one honest conversation at a time. This is not a space for giving advice, but rather a place to share tools, tips, and reflections that have inspired us along the way. Whether you're looking for clarity, connection, or curiosity driven dialogue, you're in the right place. Let's hold each other accountable with love as we grow together. So,
Hey.
hey, girl. So, like, even trying to get this together, like doing it in a different place, in a different location, with different settings and lights, and it's a whole thing. So, shout out to the podcasters who actually have like a studio and they like set up and it's all like ready to go.
Yeah.
Although some podcasts should never do another episode. However, that ain't my place. It ain't for me to judge. That's just my opinion. But here on this podcast,
Huh?
we're gonna talk about some things. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna do what we need to do. So how you doing, Key?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. You know, we're definitely doing we're shifting this week. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little more on my casual mode right now. Typically we do it on Mondays and today's Saturday. So I'm definitely in my Saturday mode.
Mhm.
But I'm loving it. You know, I have an empty house. All my kids out the house today.
Oh,
Um
I love that for you.
like, okay, like, so just give me time to kind of like just be and like focus on this. I don't have to worry what's going on out there, which is like typically I'm like managing this in trying to keep my kids alive out there. But I'm doing good. The
Okay.
past week was a bit kind of crazy, but I'm still here. I'm still standing.
Because life has,
Ups and downs.
yes,
The thing is, like
life
I told
has been life, and right.
yeah, and somebody said, "Would you rather?" Somebody at work said, "Well, you don't want to be dead and dead." And I was like, you know what? You're right. I'll life and
You
life.
gotta.
So,
That's.
I'll take that. And like I was just saying this morning on my stories, I was like, I was playing one of my favorite worship songs, Defender,
Mhm.
and it was like it's so much better your way. So it's like this time around, I'm trusting God, and
Mhm.
that also gives me more emotional and spiritual stamina because the test is going
Mhm.
to come, but I'm not trying to do it on my own. So the
Mhm.
anxiety is not as high. I'm not
Right.
as low as I would be if I was trying to do this for myself. And so
No,
that's
that's real.
that's the difference I realized. Like for me, Christ is the difference because with putting Him first and trusting Him to be my defender, the song goes, "You go before I know." He's like, "You go before I know that you've even fought the war."
Mm. Got
And
it.
the song goes, all I had to do was pray. All I had to do was worship. All I had to do was stand still.
Mm.
So much better your way. Because you already won the war before you brought back the head of the enemy before I even knew what to do. You took care of it all.
Mm. That's
This time
dope.
all I'm doing is standing on your promises. You're doing the rest. As you told us to do, to trust
Yeah,
you.
I like
And
that.
so like one of my favorite songs, my church song is Defender. And the first time I heard it, I was like, this is so much better your way. It's so much better when you take off the burden of trying to do it all by yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's real. It made me think about this post I saw today. I want to say his name is Tim Ross, the dude who used to be a pastor with the braids.
Yes, he had a great post this week about faith and trust.
Trust, yes.
Yes,
And he was talking
yes,
about a lot of people
the
don't realize
difference.
those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta have faith.
Faith is the entry point, right?
Is
But
the
the trust
entry.
comes when your faith has already been like kind of like you see the faith is the entry point.
Yeah.
Saying, I don't know, and he's like,
The faith is relational. Just like what we talking about. Like, cause it's like you're in, like
you're in partnership with God. You're in partnership with
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like you're in partnership and you're building something with God. And over time, it's like when you're in a relationship with somebody that you trust, or you're in a friendship, or whatever the case may be, when okay, I'm gonna put this on here, I'm gonna send this to you, and you do what you're supposed to do. So it's kind of like
faith builds trust because you first, like he said, the faith is an entry point. So it's like I have faith. I know you're not quite sure, but just give me a chance. Have faith in me. And as when you have faith, like we talking about last episode, and you've gone through similar situations, like, oh, I know this. The trust comes. Oh, I know he got me this time because he had me last time. So the
I
faith
did this already.
Yeah. Or I've experienced something like this, or I know, even if this is new, this part is new to me.
Mm-hmm.
We've established trust with each other of how we've shown from before.
Yeah, it's kind of like what is it like? Cast your cares upon God.
Yeah, like he says, it's ultimate partnership. He literally tells you, "I am strong where you're weak."
Oh, and I've been weak in a lot of places.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm weak. I'm weak in all the places right now.
That's like my favorite. I gotta find it, but that's my favorite verses. I remember times I'm like, okay, God, I'm weak. You said you're strong where I'm weak, and I just literally, you said you're strong. Beat this. I need your strength here. Fill in the gap because
lately I've been feeling like I ain't got no strength. Like everything is you. Like God, you take it. But I also think that that's a part of building a relationship with God. It is supposed to be so that you're dependent on that relationship, and because that's where you go, because you're not supposed to rely on man, and you're not supposed to and you're not supposed to lean on your own understanding.
Lean out to your own understanding, because your understanding will have you in anxiety.
Will have you in anxiety and depression, have you cussing people out, have you just all over the place, and it's just like nah, like I don't want to be that. I'm like, you know what, God, you take it.
But here's the other thing too, real quick. You let me think about something, because but also don't let people gaslight you, because some things like the trust and the understanding is like, yes, it's not saying that bad things haven't happened or allowing people to be bad and say, well, my understanding is God. No. People have to be held accountable. They do bad things. They did the bad thing. They have to be held accountable, and you have to, eliminate access to them. However, your response to them is where you trust God in.
Absolutely.
Your reaction to them is where you trust God in. Because if they do something bad, we're not saying, oh no, God said to another cheek, oh no. Vengeance is the Lord. So he'll get it. He's gonna take care of you. When you say God, so it's like I think people sometimes we get a little punkish in that space, because it's like, well, lean out to your understanding. No, you still hold folks accountable.
Oh no, you in the world.
In the world, you still gotta
hold people accountable.
You violated.
Yeah, you still gotta tell people, no, you did too much. But I'm not gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna let God handle you. But I'm gonna tell you that what you did, that was messed up. You out of pocket. You was out of pocket.
All about boundaries. He set boundaries. And he's telling you, we can set boundaries with love. Hey, I love you. I'll say hi to you, but I ain't never gonna work with you again.
Yeah. And you know what? The other thing I think people that I think about sometimes, and I feel like when we talk about like spirituality and religion, right? Because those are two very different things. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's a part of people where they don't really understand that everybody is not participating in doctrine. Everybody is not into scripture. Everybody is not having that relationship with God. So it's just like, you can't say, oh, God, let this, God, because you're not in the word. This other person may be, right? And it's also kind of like
those principles.
Yes, I'm saying like the governance is different. And it's like when you decide that God is going to govern your life, you operate differently because you're reading scripture. You're following something very different. And it's like we're in the same world, but we're operating under two different understandings, right?
They say there's that thing is like you're in the world, but not of the world.
Yes. So it's like, I'm in the world, but I'm not of this world, right? And then it's also like when we think about relationships, right? We think about relationships and partnerships. we live in this world where, people use words like submit and, I'm the head of my house. Sir, that's biblical. That's scripture. What are you in that? Like, is that where you are?
What does
Because
that
I
really
feel like,
mean?
what does that mean to you? Because I feel like people be talking about scripture and Bible, but they don't live by those principles on an everyday
Yeah.
basis. It's
They
like
pick
they cherry pick. They
yeah,
cherry
they
pick
cherry pick.
what they want to subscribe to when it comes to like partnership and relationship.
Yeah.
Don't try to bind me up being submissive. When, sir, you ain't been in the Bible. And you
Because
ain't even
the submission starts with you. If you want to really go, but the submission is about you have to love your wife as God loves the church. So you have to submit
absolutely,
yourself to God, in
absolutely
His leadership, because you can't be leading on road. What's your standard?
that part. Like, what are we talking about
Who
here?
do you pray to?
Who are you praying to? You know what I'm saying? Listen,
And what your standard? What's your standard? What's your baseline? Who are you going to for guidance? Right?
mhm,
Talk about like, you the church
exactly.
at this point, cherry pick all of it. How about just pick the whole bunch?
That's what I'm saying. Take all the cherries. Don't
Cherries.
take the cherries that
Line them up.
you know what
Because
I'm
it's like,
saying.
because your I think it was TD Jakes talked about it one time. He was talking about like, do you understand? Christ died for you. So if you're supposed to mirror
Mm.
Christ in your leadership, that means you're willing to put your life on the line for your.
Hey, say what
That's
now?
oh okay,
Say what?
right.
You putting your life on the line for me? You you going that far? Is that what we're doing?
And submission it goes both ways because you're submitting yourself also. You're submitting yourself to your wife as right. So it's
Exactly.
not just
Yeah,
you know.
and people be out here using terms and doing things that you know what I'm saying. Like you don't know
Let's
the
get a full
context.
understanding. And also, listen, and even as a woman, when it comes to submission is not just about being a doormat or saying yes.
Mm-mm.
Submission
Nope.
is servitude, and it's a mutual. It's reciprocity. It goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
I don't have no problem submitting to someone who I see who understand, and I see one I can see and comfortably follow. I don't have a problem submitting and following.
Yeah, because I got to be able to trust you.
And trust comes with time.
Exactly, and faith.
Faith. I will say faith because even right, if you enter a relationship with somebody, you're saying I have faith enough to pursue as I get to know you. I'm putting faith and going in intentionally to get to know you.
Yes.
To build trust.
To build trust, and when that trust gets broken, it's different because like now it's broken in the real world.
Yeah.
It ain't like this biblical thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be seeing stuff and I'll be looking at people and I'll be like, where you get that from? You know what I'm saying? Like God told like you said God told you that was okay. It's a very dicey space we live in when we talk about spirituality and like the you know what I'm saying. I just want y'all to know I'm having some technical issues, but I'm gonna give up now because I'm not gonna crash out the way I want to because I had a camera, I had a light, and the light keep going out all of a sudden and then it's charged. But you know what? It's fine. My lighting won't be that great today, but it's what it is. We're gonna have a great conversation.
And listen, like I don't want to come across either as like the know-all of all these things. I'm still navigating and
yeah,
and having my own experiences with relationship. But I think it's the purpose of this is because we are both on our like dating journey. We're single and we desire, I think, intentional partnership across all, right?
absolutely.
And so, today's topic is setting the standard partnership on purpose. And we talk about partnership romantically, but I mean, across the board, I think all partnerships, whether friendships, professionally, romantically, they're these connections that are made, and you gotta do it on purpose. Because I don't need to be connected with multiple. Like you said to me, you said, I know a lot of people, but I really, really know a few. Look, I've known quite a lot, but I only know a few. Does that make sense? Like,
and only a few really know me.
Right.
Like I know a lot of people, but a lot of people don't know me.
Yeah.
And I've learned that, and I've come to the real, and I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it because I know who my village is. I know who my core, you know what I'm saying, like base is, and I don't have to dig in the weeds and figure it out.
Yeah.
I know where everybody is positioned. You know, I know what resources I have access to. So it's nothing for me to question. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Life will definitely over time will show you who you really know, who really knows you, and who you want
absolutely.
to potentially be in your life. I
Yep.
think as you get older, like you said, being even famous or popular in different spaces, just gaining a following from like different spaces and chapters of your life. A lot of people
Yep.
know you and follow you for whatever reason. But like even on Instagram, you could have 10,000 followers.
Yep.
Out of them 10,000, who do you really know? Who are you
Yeah.
really in partnership with?
Yeah. I
Right?
think like they say like statistically like 3.5% of your followers are like people who actually like invest in you or like, you know, support you, give, you know, like they will be a resource for
They
you. And
lean
I
in.
think
They really lean in.
yeah, and I think that can be true in a lot of different spaces because over time, right? And then I also think, and I've learned to give other people grace too, because depending on where people are in their lives and what they're going through, they're gonna show up differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, and if they value that relationship, a lot of times if they don't even if they don't give you a warning, if I'm going through this thing, when you do tap in with them, they like, yo, shit been crazy.
Now, I see you, but I really couldn't,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I really couldn't tap in with you, but yeah, so you
just
know,
know. So
but
yeah, we're
yeah,
talking about partnership and partnership. The way we're talking about partnerships, interpersonal partnerships, right? We
yeah,
big on definitions, so we're gonna give you a good definition. So interpersonal partnerships refer to the social and emotional connections between two or more people. These connections can take various forms, including family relationships, friendships, romantic partnerships, and professional relationships. They are characterized by interactions, bonds, and mutual influence, playing a crucial role in an individual's social and emotional well being.
absolutely.
Yeah. So when you're setting the standard like this for your life, it's like thinking about how all these different partnerships, how you want them to look in your life, how what they
Yeah,
mean to you, establishing like the non-negotiables. I would say for me anyway, that's how I look at it. Like
yeah, that's
stage of my
real.
life, like who do I want and how do I want to show first with them in their lives, and then because it has to be a mutual influence. You want a mutually beneficial relationship, so it's like you want to know that you're making impact and giving them what they need, right? Because it's not just a one-way thing,
Yeah,
as well as making sure that they're feeding you and giving you what you need. Like you're
yeah,
both invested in being a part of this
no,
part,
that's real.
whatever space it's at.
Yeah, no, I get that, and
Yeah.
I also think so. What I'm also starting to think and kind of like been thinking about for the last couple of days, and it just kind of like I just had one of those little light bulb moments. I think a lot of times our standards are built out of negative experiences.
I can see that.
So it's like because we're not socialized, I think, in a way where we're supposed to always be selfish and put ourselves first and not allow people to mistreat us. There is an underbelly in the way we're like in the Western world where we are expected to allow people to mistreat us. And this whole struggle love and struggle relationships and struggle and everything got to be so hard and so tough and whatever, however that looks. And then there's also the spiritual part of it, right? Because you talk about long suffering. And I think people kind of like conflate the two because a lot of times our standards come from we create standards and boundaries based on a lack of. So it's like we did it the first time this particular way and it didn't feel good. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. That hurt. This hurt. Okay, cool. I'm going to do it again. But this time, I don't want this. This time, I don't want that. And this time, I don't want this. So we're creating a boundary and now we're improving our standards. But what if we lived in a world where I'm a human being and I deserve to be treated this particular way from the jump, right? And they talk about like studies where, like young women particularly who have really healthy relationships
Mhm.
with their fathers or with the men in their lives, you see men or you see relationships through a different standard, right? And also like people who they talk about like people who come from like affluent backgrounds, they respond to challenges and things differently than people who come from a space where they don't have access to resources. So when you have access to resources, you have access to things, you view the world a little bit differently because you have privilege and you have expectation. So it's like you walk through the world expecting things to go your way. You expect for people to treat you a certain way, or you expect to have access to things. But when you come from a space of like lack, or like what's the other word? What's the other word for lack? I can't think of the word right now. But it's like you walk through the world and you kind of expect for people to shit on you.
Okay.
You like
Low
you
expectations, almost like
low expectations.
yeah. Because I when you thinking about, I think about. I remember one time I saw a comment. Like, oh yeah, you can tell she comes from she didn't grow up with her daddy. She got daddy issues. Like I've heard men say that, like they can tell how a woman acts. They can tell whether or not her father was around. Or their father was around, because, like you said,
Yeah.
that experience creates expectation. Like seeing how your father, knowing your father, having your father as a provider or any type of way, you are less inclined to accept. I mean, but I don't think there's any cutaways to that, because I know women who had both of their parents in the household, fathers are full-on providers, and they allow men to treat them in any kind of way. So I think it's not 100% true, like guaranteed, but there are some instances, a lot more than not, where if you have your father in your life, you are less inclined to accept certain behaviors from men.
Yeah. But I think with that, when it happens with people who don't fit the standard, it's socially influenced.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like those are statistics, but I'm talking about like from the social construct perspective.
Yeah.
Socially, especially when like women, females, right? From birth, like we're socialized. When a boy hits you, he likes you. When people mistreat you, oh, they just doing that because they like you. So
They're just okay.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's environmental, it's nurture and nature. But like as we grow up and as we develop, one of the trajectories kind of like is where we go. But yes, you can definitely come from an affluent background or whatever the case may be, and kind of like are socialized and you connect environmentally with different practices, and it will show, right? Because those are the people that sometimes get cast out of their families, or they become the black sheep, right? Because they operate more from like environmentally what they're experiencing. And it can also work the other way. You can come from a family of privilege who you consider to be snooty, or they don't like, they look down on people. But because you have had these other lived experiences with different groups of people and you understand diversity, you are more connected with diverse population because you see yourself as a human being in those things. So that's what I'm saying. Like what happens in the family is very important. But as we go out into the world, we're socialized in certain ways and we begin to accept behavior because it's like, oh, this other person experiences this too, or this has happened to them. And we normalize a lot of shit that we shouldn't. But what if we like, what if just as humans we were like socialized, and the social construct in the world we live in was like you're always supposed to be treated with respect. You're always supposed to be treated with dignity, and you're always supposed to treat people with respect, and you're always supposed to treat people with dignity.
I think, but isn't that the baseline though? It's just what happens is people gaslight us and make us feel like. So I think what happens.
That's not the baseline in Western culture.
Okay, but just hear me out. What I'm saying is, like, I think you think about it, how most of us are trained and raised as kids. Be nice, be kind, don't hit, be right. And then what happens a lot of times in life with these negative experiences, you encounter people who will mistreat you, and for whatever reason their experiences are. This is a lot of times what happens, because I know for me, like, I came from a very like sheltered childhood in the sense of like I grew up in the church and everything was like, for the most part, we were taught kindness, right? And loving and being of service to people. And then, I could meet someone and their experiences influence how they show up in a relationship, and they're tough and I show love by being this way. And I'm like, they'll gaslight you into believing their mistreatment is their form of love. And they'll have you thinking like, oh, okay, right? Because you're trying to like, you want this experience of love, and you get these little pockets of like bliss with them, and then you get this other side of like this because I love you and I want you to do better. I'm like, well, why you got to do it like that? And so you try to like justify and rationalize their mistreatment because they try to gaslight you into thinking this is acceptable because we're their intention, right?
Yeah, but that's still environmental. That's you being led by social constructs.
Yeah.
not your foundation. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like if everybody's foundation was that solid, and we only relied on like the foundational things, society and how we operate will be different. But this is also a part of how many different subcultures we have. Because like Black culture is different. Like, right, like marginalized communities or under-resourced communities,
Okay.
they're different. They go into relationships different. They see different, like like there's so many diverse like communities that we have, but there's a very big part in this country, in the Western world, where on some level we rely on these capitalistic kind of like things, like it's like Garaka. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's a lot. Like when you like if you study sociology and you look at the way the world works, a lot of the things that happen to us are social constructs. They're things that we accept as a society. They're not things that we have to do. Like boys don't have to wear blue and girls don't have to wear pink. Pink doesn't have to be a soft color. It doesn't have to be a feminine color. We've made it into that. That was a marketing thing that happened, years ago. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the human experience is gonna happen, but a lot of things that we allow to happen to us
that we know to be true is, like you said, social conduct. Someone
social construct
to like create these social norms. But even to your point, I think about when you're saying like with these subcultures, but there's still a consistent, like if you look in these, like when you're social media and look at these different comments, one thing is true across all subcultures, across all experiences. People are crazy, and I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say what I really want to say. Men ain't shit.
Yeah,
no. But I'm saying people are really crazy, and it goes across. I see white, black, everything in between that find commonality in these issues and struggles of partnership and finding partnership on purpose.
Absolutely,
like that goes across all subgroups,
all sectors. And what the funny thing about social constructs and its connection to capitalism and marketing is that because we have to be disconnected and we have to be divisive with each other, because that's the only way this world works.
Because they always compare us to the other, and it's like we are so much more common than you really think about it.
It
grinds my gears when I hear, especially black men, black women, and just people in general, black folks in general, compare us to white others. But it's more commonly compared us to the white community, right? And it's like, but the white, listen, they are just as dysfunctional. They are just as
human beings are flawed.
We are human beings. Stop idolizing the other communities because you think it's better, and it's not. I know that from proximity. I know that because I work with them. I live near them. I'm in partnership with some of them as friends. So it's like stop idolizing other communities because you think it's better. It's not. It's not. It's all a social construct to make us feel like there are some things that right. There's some truths about our country and the underbelly of it, and not even the underbelly, the freaking head of our country, and the sick, twisted views that a lot of people carry. Right. We have enough of that, but we have more in common
than we actually discuss.
Yeah.
But that's why the world works. Because as long as we're divided, things are like there's cultural things that make us that we operate daily that are different. But in terms of like humanity and flawedness, listen, let me tell you something. My community I've seen some stuff happen in other communities. You be like, whoa, okay. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that is BS. But the thing about it is as long as there's these multiple narratives about different groups, it allows for capitalism to thrive. It allows for the marketing, it allows for the marketing of the stereotype, right? It's always easier to stereotype certain communities because people think and they believe it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the silly people walking around thinking, no, I'm saying like people still thinking that Obamacare is different than Affordable Health Care Act. Like they're the same thing. And you don't know that because you got a problem with Obama, like you got a problem with the name being Obamacare. You know what I'm saying? But like all of that is marketing to like just confuse people and make people hate things unnecessarily. But anyway,
You know, we
like
don't read that. We don't
sociology,
like to read. We don't like to get information on our own. We like to get little clips or something. Like, you heard that was the
people don't
truth.
like to do research.
I saw this
It's
clip. I
like
saw this
y'all not
post.
gonna do no research. You're not gonna look at it at all. You're just not gonna look it up. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole thing. But anyway, I can go down the sociology rabbit hole all
But
day.
yeah, so
Let's get back to what we're supposed to be talking about.
To the topic, the thing is like removing the social constructs and norms, and this work on being a better person, how you show up in partnership, right? So let's talk about that. Like when it comes to setting the standard. Also, I want to hit this real quick. Just like the negative experience that we have can influence what we want in partnership. I also more recently have been focusing on the positive experiences and like talking about the positive experiences.
You want to share some of those positive experiences?
I will. So okay. So I'm talking about I'm gonna start with the dating part, and I'm gonna talk about even professionally and personal. I'll start with so romantically. I was telling Jazz, once you experience a man who is intentional about you, about getting to know you, communicating with you, making time for you, it ruins everything. It ruins it for the rest of you low effort, minimal effort men's out there. Once you experience a man who is intentional about getting to know you and setting up time, you were like, once you experience first class on the airplane, you cannot go back to coach. Excuse me? I've been treated better than this. I have this dry rag story. This is dry rag story. So I was dating, right? And I had just ended relationship with this guy, and we was kind of like some like little like it was a little like overlap. It was like a little like what's the word I'm looking for? Like there was a little like we was like slowly fading.
It was an overlap.
Okay. Fine. Overlap. Well, they're both on my block list. They're both on my block list, or whatever. It was overlap, whatever. Like I was transitioning. It was overlap. It's fine. I wasn't committed to either one. We were transitioning out of one, transitioning into another. So it was like I was transitioning into a new relationship, and I wasn't quite sure about him yet. So I still had homeboy in the back pocket just in case when he was acting out. Go ahead. So when I was transitioning from the other guy, I knew he wasn't meeting my standards because he didn't communicate well. He just wasn't. I knew it wasn't sustainable, and we had agreed to just be friends. And I was transitioning into a new relationship connection, and they were so intentional, and like they like gave me this is after dark conversation. Jesus, how I'm gonna clean this one up? Okay, so
how a man say it because I know what you're about to say.
I am. So how a man treats you after relations makes a difference. So, does he give you a cold rag or does he give you a warm rag, help you get cleaned up?
Does he give you a rag?
Or does he give you a rag at all? Does he give you a rag at all? Right? So the new guy not only like gave me a warm rag, but like helped me get myself together, was very intentional. I was like, this is like first class. And like I said, there was some overlap, and I went to go visit homeboy. He gave me a dry rag. And I was like, this man, I have never. I grabbed my stuff so quick because this other man that gave me a warm rag, some black mango tea, made me breakfast in the morning, and you gave me a dry rag. You couldn't even wet it with your spit.
And then what happened after the dry rag?
I went on back to the black mango tea and enjoyed myself. I had a good old time. About a year and a half. It was a good time. Cut him off. Like,
yeah. Still like sometimes is that like sometimes that can happen. Like yeah.
So those positive. My point is, in conclusion.
I was about to say something. I called myself. I forgot we recorded. I called myself.
I might have to edit this down. I don't know. We're gonna make it to I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. I caught myself.
But so my friends have a joke to this day. We talk about the dry rag and black mango tea because it just talks about again the standard, setting the standard. And once you get a good experience, it makes a difference. Someone most recently I said he was great at being intentional about getting to know me. It really made me sit in my chair like, oh, he's really trying to get to know me. And now dealing with men since then, I'm like, no, I need more communication. I need that. I need some more intentional. You're never too busy because I'm too busy. This man worked 2 jobs and made time, communicated, right? He said, I can't speak to you all day, but you know, you can text me, right? He made it very clear, like, here's what I can do if you need like to like for bits of attention. This is what you do. We have both very busy schedules. He was, for one thing, he always asked if I was available before he called me. He also was like, here's my schedule for the week. What's yours? Let's see if we can find time if it's possible. I really appreciate that effort. And so that has set a new standard for me in my interpersonal relationships. Like, you can make
As it
time.
should.
You're
As it
not that
should.
busy.
You're not that busy. You're not that busy. But you know what? That's
I don't want to dismiss someone's time, but even if you're that busy, you make time for what you want to make time for. And
yes.
if I'm a priority to you when you get to know me, I require effort. That's all. Full stop.
No, absolutely. Like if you have to make an effort to get to know people in real time. Like because that's a part of intimacy. And I think a lot of men and a lot of people don't realize that. Like communication is really a strong form of intimacy. Can
Yeah.
I talk to this person regularly? Can we hold like healthy conversations? Do I walk away from this conversation feeling like they heard what I said? Do I walk away from this conversation having more questions? Do I feel comfortable going back and revisiting this conversation? Or was it a situation where it was like, I don't want to talk about this again? Like those things really
That's real.
matter.
That's
How
real.
somebody handles you, because sometimes you can have a, because you know me, I'm a delayed response kind of person with certain people. I have to let things process because I know that I'm sensitive. And if I really care, I need to sit with it before I say everything that I want to say because I want to make sure that what I'm saying is actually is actually what I want, not how I feel all the time. Because sometimes I just be wanting to be a brat, and I'm like, I want this, do this, but you can't always deal with people like that. So sometimes I have to sit with my feelings and be like, okay, why am I feeling this way? Before I say this to this person, why am I feeling this way? What is it that I want? You know what I'm saying? And then if I say it to them and then the conversation was fruitful, but then I still feel comfortable to like go back and be like, okay, well, thank you for that
Yeah.
conversation. Um, and here's another thought I had. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
being able to circle back and complete conversations and complete your whole thought is very important.
So I know it's for myself when it comes to, especially in business relationships, I
Mm-hmm.
have a hard time asking for what I want or in the moment, like when something's going on. People most likely think I'm in agreement because I'm very much an honest, small type person, and then I'm a delayed response when it comes to like actually asking for what I want. I hear people out.
Mm,
I want to get better, especially in business. And in the moment, being confident enough to push back and ask for what I want, the same way I can do in personal relationship. I don't know
yeah.
what it is, and it's something I've been really analyzing with myself recently. Like, why is that? What's the disconnect? Like in
Yeah.
business, I'm way more passive in person,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm okay. I hear you out. What do you want to? Oh, maybe I'll think about it. But then after the fact, they probably like she just switched up because I'm like I thought about it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really want to do that.
I don't want to do that. But I want to build my muscle and being able to say what I mean in the moment
Yeah.
to a certain extent. Like at least say no, I don't agree, or can I have some time to think about it? But I noticed that I'm a
Yeah.
little weaker in the space when it comes to business relationships where I'm not. I know I don't do that, and I want to get stronger in that space. I
Yeah.
just build my
No, that's real.
confidence to be able to say no. I need
Yeah,
time to
that's
think
real.
about it. I'll be able to push back. Like you know how you and I can have open dialogue, and I'm confident and comfortable. I want to be confident like that in every space to be able to like no, I don't
Mm.
agree with you on that.
Yeah, you are very confident. You know, you're very confident in all the ways.
But not in investment. I just said I wasn't all the ways. I just said I wasn't. You was in all the ways. So I would come
Nah, I'm
back.
messing with you. Nah, I'm messing with you. Like, no. But I also think that that comes from the partnership you're in, right? So, like, essentially, we're in a partnership now, right? Like, we're building a business, we're building a relation, we're building something external of our friendship as
Yeah,
girlfriends, right? We're building something, and this is me personally. I think I'm really strong at creating safe spaces for the people in my life to say what they need to say to me, right?
yeah,
And I think that's important because, and this is why I think I've had so many challenges in the romance area because I've created a standard of being a safe space for other people and people that I bring into my life, especially romantically and intimately. I need that from someone else. Right. And I don't mind us developing that, but it has to be you have to show an interest in me and in developing that comfortability where we can talk about anything and nothing is off the table. Because if we're in partnership in any way, romantically, professionally, spiritually, whatever, and something is gnawing at you and you don't feel comfortable enough to go to your partner and say, you know what, I've been thinking about this thing, or this thing has been bothering me, then that partnership is a little bit faulty. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, don't get me wrong, we all have personal grievances or like personal things that annoy us in a moment. I'm not talking about the little petty shit. I'm talking about something that really is impacting how you operate in that partnership. If it's really impacting and you can't let it go, you need to be comfortable to go to this person and say, listen, check this out. So I know I said I was okay with this before, but I'm really not. And I didn't know how to tell you how I really feel. I think that that's important. Like, I remember one time something happened with you, and I'm not gonna say the person's name, but I remember one time something happened with you, and you had got like a really big blessing, and you were really excited about it. I think you even shared it on social media, and I was so happy for you. And I remember you was telling me about you had shared it with this other person, and it really bothered me their response to your blessing and what they focused on in that minute, in that moment. And remember what I said to you? I said, "Did you say something?" And you was like, "No, not a moment." I was like, "You got to go back because that's not the kind of response that we want."
But at that point, that person had already shown that they wasn't truly a safe space for me. So like,
I get it, but it's
and
like,
when they did that, I was like, but I didn't know. I did say no. In the moment, I did say this. I was like, I pushed back because they was like, "That's how you choose that you recorded it." Like, I was like, "Oh, here's my reaction to my blessing," and you recorded it, and I was like, "I did," and that's how I chose to celebrate. And in that moment, because I knew I got used to their ways, and I was tired of that. And I was like, "Yeah, I did." Because before I was like, "Oh no, I didn't." I would whimper and like kind of pull back. And I was like, "Yeah, I did." That's how I chose to celebrate my blessing unapologetically. Yeah.
And I think that that's important.
You're judging how I. That's it. That went left after I said that word. I said, and you're judging me how I choose to celebrate my moment, rather than saying, "Oh, that's dope. That's crazy. Oh, that's what you did. What? And did."
You know what I'm saying?
Because they're not in the safe space.
But that's the thing, though. And this is the other thing, and this is why when me and you had that conversation, when you went back and had the other part of the conversation, and I remember we was talking because I remember we was talking about how like, but this is the thing though. Sometimes people don't know that they're not a safe space, and sometimes we need to tell people, "Hey, that didn't feel really good." And also because I'm also it's a plot twist. You're like, I'm here for the plot twist. I'm a plot twist kind of girl. Like, I want to see how this plays out from every angle and aspect. I'm gonna give you as much rope as you need. Be who you are. Show me, because then and it's like and it's like I'm not trying to entrap you into anything, but it's like I get to a point with people. It's like, if I show up as my authentic self, me who I am, like who you know me to be in this relationship, and you showing up completely different, that's a choice. Or that's the capacity that you have.
Right.
That's your capacity. Cool. I see your capacity, and I'm gonna up you by letting you have your capacity.
I'm gonna go.
And at some point, your capacity is gonna have you without me. Ooh. Put that on a t-shirt. Your capacity is gonna have you without a me. I'm gonna coin that one because that one gonna go on a t-shirt. Because it's just like, and it happens. And I know like sometimes people be like, yo, I don't have the energy. 'Cause I just want to like, like I have a quite a few people in my life who be like, I don't have the energy for that. I'm just gonna cuss you out in the beginning and then don't ever talk to me again. But I don't explain. I don't know why I'm like this. I'm telling you, like I will let people be their whole selves. Be a whole fool. Do it.
Because
Go
but
for it.
even that moment, they chose to take that and like make it about them, about a previous situation. It's like you can't even.
And I think okay. Tell me if I'm saying too much because I don't know.
That's fine.
Just go like this. Give me the church finger. Give me the church finger.
Okay.
Give me the church finger if I'm saying too much. Okay. So this is how I process it, right? In those moments that were frustrating for you, right? But you communicated like this doesn't feel good or this is not a safe space, and then that person still in that moment didn't see it the way you saw it, right? And over time, you got to a place and a very clear understanding like this is no longer working. And I think, and that's why I keep telling you about like we're both on these accelerated processes. I think that situation accelerated your standards and what you wanted in a way so that you were not in that space for too long. It may have seemed like a long time, but a year or two is not a long time when you're learning and growing. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I'm like that.
But you know what's crazy? That experience, even though that was a romantic relationship, it also allowed me to see things even professionally when people are committed to misunderstanding you and committed to offense. Like when I recently experienced something in the workplace, and I was like, before.
I've been here before. This feels familiar.
Back to the faith and trust thing, right? So, okay, God, I see what you did here and why I had to go through that, and you got me through that, and you got me out of that. So now that I'm here, I can trust you in this moment.
You see, the light came on for that one. It ain't been coming on.
I wanted some. Lean in. We out here now. We out here now. As John Hanna says, we out here now. Lean in. I was like, it felt very familiar. But the difference is this time I didn't feel the need to explain myself. This is who I am. This is my experience. This is my truth. However you feel about it, I get it. If I've offended you in any way, if I offended you, I'm sorry. Yeah. However, this is still my truth.
And the other part of that from me, like in my experience, right? Because I'm a sociology nut, right? And I'm a human behavior person. Mm-hmm. Human behavior is very consistent. And a lot of times people be like, because like me and Jasmine talk about this all the time. People be like, oh, you being judgmental. I'm being observant, right? Because there's a difference. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you what the difference is. Because I have allowed people to be who they are. It don't take me long. Kiki, you tell me something about a person. How many people have you told me something and I said, I don't like it. And then I'll be like, and that's what that develops from me. That like me allowing people to really just be their full selves all the time, act a fool, be selfish, be all of those things. It has really built, what's the word? My intuition and my discernment.
This is my question to you, because we're talking about, setting the standards and relationships on purpose. Based on this, how do you determine who you want to have a relationship with across any standard, right? Across any area, like, personal or professional. Mm-hmm. How do you determine if it's worth if it's beneficial when setting the standard? What are because there's some benefits to it, right? Because I want to kind of segue into this. Mm-hmm. What are your standards for you when it comes to determining, okay, I can be in partnership with this person in any whatever space, whether personal or professional, or even family, right? Because also partnership.
So there are family members that I'm not in relationship with. Right. I love you, but I love you from a distance because I can't be in a relationship with you because we live our lives differently. Morally, we're different. Like there's things, right? So for me, my baseline foundation is my morality. Okay. How I see the world and how I treat people, right? and what I expect from myself in this world. So that's communication, that's integrity, that's a little bit of coof, right? My grandmother used to be like, they ain't got no coof. You ain't got no act right.
Mm-hmm.
You got too much audacity and not enough shame. I can't deal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's certain like those are like my pillars, right? I have my moral compass, right? How you live in your life, right? If I met someone new, whether it was, and I heard a businessman say this, and he was like, he don't partner with people professionally that cheat on their wives.
I saw
Because
that.
if you cheat on the person that you sleep with every day, what would you do to me? And this is my point when I say let people be who they are, right? So when I meet them, what's your moral compass? How you live in life? How you treat people? You know what I'm saying? I listen for that. Like where your moral standards are. Cool.
That is a big thing for me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Then it's like, what's your purpose in life? Do you have a purpose? Are you clear on your purpose? And I don't ask you that because if you have a purpose, it's going to show in the way you communicate, in the way you show up, and all of those things, right? And then do you have any passions? What are you passionate about, right? If the only thing we ever talk about is what's happening on social media, okay, cool, we different. We're passionate about different things. Cool, right? And then it's like communication and integrity and discipline, right? It's like, are you disciplined? Like, is like because if me and you communicating on any level, professional or personal, and every time I talk to you, was in a bar and you know what I'm saying, fight broke out, we did this, da, da, da. Every time I'm talking to you and it's something dramatic or something that could be like life threatening, chaos, like I can't. Oh yeah, I wish you well. Oh, that's dope. No judgment. I'm never gonna say to you, I can't fool with you. I'm just not gonna fool with you. And you're gonna know, oh, Jasmine is cool, but I don't know her like that. I know you don't know me like that because you live a crazy life. You got too much drama around you. I don't do it. I can't do it.
I have blocked men after one conversation because I was able to hear very quickly that we're not aligned. There's no reason to go for any further. Like I never knew you. I mentioned the first time we changed numbers. After one conversation, right now in 2025, I've met men, had one conversation. No, we ain't.
You know what I'm saying? We're not aligned. Yeah. Yeah. And I think no, that's real though. Because I think a part of my discernment and my skills when it comes to like people is because I grew up in such a chaotic environment, but it was very teaching. Because I'm a kid, right? And when I say, you know what, I'm gonna change the language. It was a lot happening, right? I grew up in the 80s. So I grew up in the crack era. Hip hop and crack. That's the eras I grew up in, right? But if you think about it, I had all these different personalities in and out of my life, in and out of the environment. You meet people, you know what I'm saying? You got the funny drunk dude on the corner, you know what I'm saying? You got the neighborhood addict, you know what I'm saying? You got all these personalities, you know what I'm saying? You got the DJ, you got the professional person, like you got all of these different personalities. And I'm a kid and I'm in the middle of all of this.
Just taking it all in.
And I'm taking it all in. So it's like I meet people and something about their behavior. Oh, can't fool with you. I know what that is. Nope, can't fool with you. I know what that is. And and for me, it's so innate. It's so quick. And people be like, "But you being judgmental?" Nah, that's my discernment.
Because like you said, I know what a hustle looks like. I know someone's a hustler.
What I told you the other day about old boy.
Right. And what I know a scammer when I see one. You know what I'm saying? I know. And so to your point, my standards when it comes to partnership is this. For your point, for me, it's compassion. I also share with you integrity and communication, but also empathy. So if I'm saying to you, hey, Jazz. So for me, I remember I had a professional relationship. And our job, we're more customer service centric to our stakeholders, right? I was gonna roll with that. And I was like, okay, what about this? I don't care about them. Oh, that told me right there. You don't care. Our responsibility is to be in service to our stakeholders. So you not caring.
That's a job description.
Literally. And you're saying you're moving without any consideration for anybody else other than what you want to do. We're not aligned. That told me very early on we are not on the same page.
Exactly.
Because I had to begin to distance myself professionally based on the things you said to me in private meetings.
Yeah.
We are not the same.
We're not the same.
And it's proven to be true further down the line. and they further show themselves more and more. And I further like this.
Yeah. And
You
it don't, because it don't take a lot.
I didn't switch up. I gave space because we are not aligned.
Yeah.
And I am very big on integrity and character. We don't have to like each other, but you're gonna respect me, and I'm gonna respect you. Very simple. Now you you know what I'm saying? So the importance of, and I just want to get some of the points that we got in our notes. The importance of standards and partnership, because they have impact. They have impact on our well-being, right? So healthy interpersonal relationships contribute significantly to individuals' overall well-being, both physically and emotionally. Like Jasmine said, when you're talking to someone, after you speak to them, how are you feeling? Your body keeps score. We always talk about that. After you have a conversation with somebody, how are you feeling? How do you feel? Again, is there questions? Are you left wondering? Do you feel whole? Do you feel like, oh, that was a good experience? That your body will tell you. But a lot of times maybe it's just to listen to. We always say something up, something in the water. I don't know what it is yet. I'm still gonna remember. I don't know what it. I said it's giving me scammer. I don't know what kind of level of scam, but scammery is in the. Your body say no. You're rocking that crack in the corner.
No, but it's real though, and it's like, because like you said, like the body keeps score, and it don't always have to be as dramatic as what we call it,
right?
But it's like there's a texture there.
It's like
something is there. It's like I don't know.
And then, right, the next importance is social support. Right, these connections provide a vital support system, helping individuals to cope with challenges, combat loneliness, and increase resilience to stress. So these setting standard, because like that mutual beneficial. So like when we're going through something, who can you call? Is there someone you can lean on and get you through them low moments? Girl. I'm like, that's good.
Listen, and that's another thing for me, right? I don't mind talking about this, but I had to have a call. I made a call today with a friend of mine.
Okay.
Very special friend. And it's a platonic relationship, but from my perspective, our relationship has a very consistent and thick layer of intimacy, right? We talk about a lot of different things, spiritually, personally, and we're of the opposite sex, right? And I'm conscious of what I say to him because we're not in a romantic relationship.
Okay.
But I also acknowledge that I do have expectations of him. Okay. I have a level of expectations of him. And because I do, sorry, I had to look at my thing. And because I have that level of expectation of him, I communicate with him in a very particular way. So something had been bothering me. And I communicated it to him today. And that was it. And it was communicated. And then when I left the conversation, I felt supported. I felt understood. And I'm not thinking about it anymore. So I no longer, I'm not holding that thing anymore. But here's the flip side. From the outside looking in, I've had several people ask me, well, what's the benefit of this friendship, of this relationship? And it's literally, it's literally what you just read. Mm-hmm. Because there's reciprocity and there is support there. But what I've learned is that every relationship we in can provide different levels of support.
Yeah.
I can talk to this friend spiritually about things that I can't talk to a lot of my other male friends about, right? Yeah. And we lock in on certain things that I can't even talk to my girlfriends about.
Yeah.
Right? So I had to learn to value the impact of the relationship versus me just getting what I want in the moment. Like I need you to do, you know what I'm saying?
Because also the moment you had with him also helped him. And it's going to touch on another key benefit, the personal growth. Because he was able to acknowledge, right, okay, yes, this is true, but this is why. But it made him, he also had to have a moment of reflection to understand why is this, right? And so it both gave you a moment to understand each other, but it was a real moment for you because you typically don't. You was letting these things kind of like, I'm not saying that. But once you realize how easy it was to just say how you felt, and he created a true safe space for you to say how you felt, and he didn't penalize you for sharing your feelings. He rather took accountability and was able to see your side. They both had, you see what I'm saying? So it took some personal growth, and personal growth by interacting with others Individuals gain new perspectives, learn valuable skills, and broaden their understanding of the world. In that conversation, what? Y'all gain new perspectives. You both
Yep.
learn. You learn a valuable skill and being able to say, hey, up front, I don't like when you do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or like Key, you over talk me sometimes. I know, I'm doing better. See, but you sharing this podcast is helping me be a better listener and slowing down. Because a lot of times my mind goes faster than my mouth, or my mouth goes faster than my mind. So this podcast is teaching me in our interaction to slow down. It's not that I want to cut you off, but it comes off that way based on how I communicate. So
No, listen, I get, and me too. And
right.
I've learned, right? Because I have moments where I'm just like, and I'm like, oh wait, and then I'm like, and then like, like I'll be thinking out loud, like, yo, that's so real. Yeah. But like I'm learning, I'm also learning, and I'm sharpening my own skill set in communication, right? Because I love to listen to people talk. If you listen to people talk,
they tell you
everything.
Everything
you got to say a lot. You just listen.
I learned that, and you taught me that, and I learned to listen a lot more. And like you said, it brought into understanding of the world of each other. It brought into understanding. Mm-hmm. Let people talk, and you listen.
Listen, like, men will talk you out of your drawers, or men will talk you into your drawers.
Oh, wait, on the street. Like what?
Like you said what?
Guy, he said to me, he said, I'm afraid of Atlanta. And he said, because this, he said, I'm afraid. And I said, why? There's so many gay people down there. I said, you gonna catch gay? Is gay like you gonna catch it? Why are you afraid of Atlanta? So
what
is what's the word? Is it contagious?
Yeah, like what?
You afraid? You know there's gay people in New York, right? And that conversation said, okay, well, it was nice.
Let me pack this up.
And know what is funny? He removed himself because he realized. I was like, he's like, yeah, I think I sound crazy. You do. That was like that whole He removed himself. Work on yourself.
Listen. If you listen to people talk for a long time and you like, of course you engage, but if you just really just listen and let people be who they are, I'm telling you, I'm here for a plot twist. Maybe it's the writer in me.
Maybe, but also you gotta be mindful of that. Let me tell you why. Because I'm gonna segue. That's why, because there's health benefits to this thing, and it can have a negative positive impact. So don't get yourself sick watching these plot twists, okay?
Nah, you're right.
Research suggests that strong interpersonal relationships can lower the risk of depression, cardiovascular disease, and even improve longevity. But however, weak interpersonal skills can have an adverse effect on you, and you don't want to be stressed out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, absolutely. No, seriously. No, you're right. You're 100% right. And I've had to catch myself in that, right? Because in 2020, when I moved, I was in a situation where it was a plot twist.
Right.
And I had been letting it play out. And I said, you know what? Enough. Everybody, calm down. Enough. I'm done. And I cut 2 people off at the same time. I was like, be well. And I realized in that moment, that's when I realized that sometimes the plot twist can like lean on you too much.
Yeah.
And I also learned in that, in allowing things to kind of like just happen, a lot of times I'm also pouring out a lot. So I've learned to let people talk, let people show me who they are. And it doesn't, and this is the other thing, I don't know if it's on that paper. When people genuinely care about you and it's a genuine connection and it's a line, you ain't got to perform for it.
Oh, no.
You just got to show up. And that's what I've learned. Because even in like the friendship I said, like the conversation we had today, I don't have to do nothing for that friendship. There's no performance in me required. Like there's nothing that I'm required to do to keep that friendship thriving. I'm literally just showing up as whoever I am that day of the week. And the friendship is still going to be there.
Because, like you said, that comes to both being invested to maintaining a healthy interpersonal partnership. Yes, so absolutely. Maintaining it comes down to, this is the part when you're talking about that. We didn't have that exactly on the notes, but to maintain these standards in your partnership, it comes out communication. Open and honest communication is essential. So, like, to your point, be able to say, hey, I don't like this, and him being receptive and open and not getting defensive. Or if he did get defensive, it's not the way that's like creating conflict. Because it's going to be conflict, right? Then there's also that's built on respecting boundaries, differences, and the feelings of others. So he may not understand why, but he's willing to listen or stay willing to listen to you back, right? Also, empathy. Well, that's a big one for me. It's also understanding, right? Understanding and sharing the feelings of others fostering connection and trust. So again, we don't
Absolutely.
have to understand. Well, we don't have to agree to understand, right?
Yep.
Active listening. I go back to Jasmine. The story telling yourself. Listen to what to say and showing genuine interest. Showing. So it's like, what did I say and what did you hear? So
You
I'll
know
tell you
that's my first. You know that's my favorite go-to. So
right.
what is it that you actually heard me say? Tell me
Right.
what you heard me say.
For example, I was dating this
Yo, people
guy,
don't
right?
like that shit though.
Yeah,
They
and I
don't
dated
like
this.
when I do that.
What did you hear me say? And I use it on somebody recently. Like they use it on me, and I told him. He said, "Let's wait to do this together." And I said, "So you're telling me no? You told me I have to wait." He's like, "No." I said, "You said let's do it together. So that means I have to wait because I don't see you." He said, "Let's do it together." I said, "So you're telling me to wait?" He said, "That's not what I said." I said, "But that's what I heard." Right? But I was playing. I was like, pretty much you're saying, because we're not in the same space right now, let's wait to do it together. I said, so that means I gotta wait. And I don't want to wait. He said, that's not what I said. I said, but that's what it means to me. You know, and it's like to the point
But
of
shout
like,
out to him. Shout out to him for advocating for himself.
also a Cancer, because you know, y'all.
There's this beautiful dynamic between Libras and Cancers. I have a lot of Libras in my life, and I love them all very, very deeply. But it's a beautiful thing.
I'll say this: that Cancer will always hold a special place in my heart. No, because
you like how we show up in some way.
Not all of y'all. Some of y'all. But
Okay,
that
you like our mature. You like our
mature evolved Cancer. So like you and him, they're that y'all are on my top two. I don't know. I realized that there's a lot of cancers in my life. I didn't realize how many cancers I knew. But y'all two, when you got an evolved, matured Cancer knows how to communicate effectively, it's amazing. And so because that leads to conflict resolution, right? We're able to talk it out. Like we've had, I wouldn't even say real conflict, but we had differences in opinion, or like we may have unintentionally harmed each other in like small ways. But learning to address and resolve conflict constructively, right? So it's like we're not coming from a victim mindset. It's just like, hey, I didn't like that.
No, that's real.
And talking about it, and they would talk about it, address it, and move on.
Yeah, and it's done. And then the other thing too about like conflict and conflict resolution. A lot of times people be having conflict in their mind, and the other person don't even know that you in conflict. It's just like even today, like with the conversation with my friend. Like my friend is very aware of what I communicated that was making me uncomfortable, but from his perspective, he didn't see it as a conflict. But I had a conflict in my mind.
He had no idea.
And he had no idea. So it's like sometimes something is bothering you and it becomes a conflict because you haven't verbalized it. You haven't communicated. You haven't tried to communicate it. And but sometimes we be having conflicts on our own.
Because sometimes it's also how you communicate it, right? That's the other thing for me. Like, are you communicating in a way saying like are you communicating in a way like I always go back to Elon Evans on? How you communicate something makes a huge difference. Accusing someone of something versus saying, when you do this, this makes me feel. When you don't show up for me, when you don't follow up your phone call, when you don't call me back, when you ignore my text for 5 hours, I'm not going to say you're doing something, but when you do this, it makes me feel this way. So I had a conversation with a friend actually yesterday, and they told me originally I'm a bad communicator, but I'm getting to know them, so I don't know how that manifests, right? So I said, now that I've known him for a little while, I said, I can see why you get in trouble with a lot of women. So why? I said, you don't communicate. He said, I told you. I said, but I didn't know how. So most women, not all, like communication throughout the day. He'll give a good morning text, and you don't hear from him until the evening because that's just who he is, generally across the board. I keep my phone in my drawer. I don't like to be on my phone. I said, but for a woman, if you're going to be romantically involved with a woman, some require a little bit more. You don't have to have a full-on conversation, but hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
thinking of you. Those little pieces make a difference because that gap of time leaves space. And women, we have to be responsible for ourselves and where we let our minds to go. But what is he doing?
Yeah.
So who he's talking to? Again, that's something we have to be responsible for. But you can combat a lot of that by just shifting and understanding the perspective how your actions can impact someone else. But the way I said it to them, I didn't come in with my own like, you ain't calling me all day. Why? Who you talking to? Because you ain't talking to me. No, I came with a fervent like, hey, this could be an opportunity for you to grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in trouble in this way versus like, why you ain't? I could have had that down if I had attitude. I ain't here for you all day. Where you been?
Yeah.
They've been at work all day. I know they've been at work all day, but I can make it about myself versus making it accusatory, saying, "Hey, give you a little."
See, that's a plot twist kind of conversation, because now you get to sit back
and see what they do and what they did today. Hey, how you doing?
You know what I'm saying? So they heard you, right? So now they heard you. So now the next part of the plot twist is can they be consistent with what they heard?
Right. Because the thing is, and that's the thing about conflict, it's like that wasn't really a conflict. It was more like an opportunity, but also their response to it. Wow, they could have got defensive and I am who I am, whatever. You can't deal with. Whoa, you right. You are who you are.
And I'm gonna leave you over here.
Right.
Have a good day.
You know what? You're right. I can always get better. You always get, because it's not a bad thing if you're really intentional about getting to know someone. Those little things make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So even how we approach people, you know, we get a lot of times, especially when we get, I ain't teach no man how to. There's some things you have to teach them. We're not cookie cutters. We're not cookie cutters in how we approach things. Some women don't want communication throughout the day. That's too much for them. So you do have to show someone now the baseline is respect and consideration. But even like the fact that the other guy I dated, he was super communicative. Everyone's not like that. But what can we? So I can't base everybody off him. I love it about him, but it creates another standard for me. And like I like this, so I can communicate to someone like, hey, I like a little bit more communication. But to your point, the plot is like now seeing if they're listening to you and able to give you what you asked for, their capacity.
Yeah, no, that's right.
It may not be necessarily like they say if they want to, they will. Sometimes they lack the capacity.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't know that that's what you need. Because sometimes some people are willing to give you what you need.
If you tell them, like you can't go around just not communicating nothing. You can't just expect people to, like, they don't know how to, girl, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no, I'm here for a plot twist, but you gonna know what I want and what I need. From you gonna know the baseline. And I tell people this all the time. I start this. Let me tell you something. Listen here. Don't lie to me. Because God's gonna reveal it. And then they be like, well, what you mean? So here's some case studies. These are 5 different experiences that I had that lies were revealed to me. And guess what? I didn't snoop because I'm not a detective. I don't have the skill set. I don't know how to do it. If I told you the things that I learned about people without even thinking about, like I didn't even have to go and look for it. When I tell you that situation that happened for me on that Tuesday night, because I said, well, God, show me. Literally. I said, no, I don't know. But I do have a question. If there's something for me to know, God, you reveal it.
And what happened?
It revealed itself.
So I'm saying, like, let me tell you something. I have found out things about people I was intimately with.
And never think,
or
never
even
think
just like,
will fuck you up because you never think they are capable based on how they present themselves. They would do something like that.
Yep. And then like God reveals. Let me tell you something. I was dealing with this dude off and on for a few years, and we had stopped talking for about 1.5 years because I found out that he was in a full-blown relationship with somebody else. Well, that's what the person said.
Okay.
And so I was like, listen, lose my number. I don't got time. And it wasn't that he was in a relationship because we weren't exclusive, but it was the fact that this person was comfortable enough to reach out to me. So you messy because they got my information. Something like that, I don't like. I don't play with, don't call my phone. Talk to the person that you with because I don't know nothing about you.
Right.
Because I don't operate like that. I don't know about you, but they know about you. So talk to them. So that was like the first time. So like 1 year or so had passed and he came back around, you know what I'm saying? And it was quick as access to organs. We're just gonna leave it at that. And he lived in Long Island and I was in Long Island, and it was, you know, a lot of my other organs was in the city. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't have, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do the Long Island organ and just leave the city organs alone for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we had birthdays that weren't far apart. We went out of town like for the weekend and got into an accident that he caused because he was being impatient. The whole trip was ruined. Cool. We come back. I even had a moment where I broke down and I cried because I wanted to punch him in his face. So I was mad because I get mad. I cry sometimes because I don't want to do what I want to do. That's my inner 50 Cent trying to come out. And he was driving, and it's not a good time to punch somebody in the face when they're driving because So cool. So I got home, and then he left. He dropped me home. He left. He came back, apologized, and said, "Can we start over?" I said, "I'll let you know." The next day, that same woman from 2 years ago, she texted me and told me, "You the reason why Black love can't maintain." I said, "Whoa, ma'am, what are you talking about?" "Oh, y'all were in an accident. The insurance is in my name." I said, "This man has been with me every day for the last 6 months. Every day. Before you go to work, after you come from work, on the weekend, supermarket, laundry, gym, everything. How would I know that he's still in a relationship? If he's telling me he's not, he's showing me his phone. Because, I don't ask about shit like that because I don't care. And he's with me all the time. Why would I think that he is in another relationship? Why would I think that?
Probably because she lacks boundaries and is doing too much and doing stuff for this man and hope that she can have him. And he don't want you, but you're a placeholder.
But he lied. But you know what? But he lied. He lied because I asked him, "Are you still in a relationship with this person on any level?" Now, had he told me
there's still some business,
I would have responded differently. So yeah, that ended that day.
Yeah.
And then he tried to cuss me. But I turned the table. I can't tell you what I said.
That's fine.
But I'm just gonna say I turned the table, and that was it.
That's it.
And within the 6 months, your boy was sleeping in the park.
Oh, you're breaking up. Oh no. Damn it. I think the plot twist was he was homeless. No, what was it? All right, y'all. So I got Jazz on FaceTime because clearly technology's not on our side tonight. So we won't end it there because God said, let's get it there. We had an hour and 24 minutes. So thank you all again for joining us for this week's episode. Y'all have an amazing week. Remember to be intentional about creating standards. Setting the standard with partnerships on purpose. And have a great week. Jazz, enjoy your vacation. Turn your phones. Y'all have a good week. I'm going on vacation.